Have you ever pondered over how one man's influence could shape the course of a nation's history? Consider the case of Joseph Stalin. Born in 1878 in the town of Gori, nestled within the mountainous expanse of Georgia, then a part of the old Russian Empire, Stalin's journey to power began. It was a humble origin, far removed from the political turmoil he would later orchestrate. Stalin found his political calling with the Bolshevik Party, where he was drawn to the revolutionary ideals and the charismatic leadership of Vladimir Lenin. It was under Lenin's tutelage that Stalin began his ascent, learning the intricacies of political maneuvering and consolidating his position within the party. Their relationship, although fraught with disagreements, was instrumental in shaping Stalin's political acumen. By the time of Lenin's death in 1924, Stalin had positioned himself as a key player in the Soviet political arena. Following Lenin's demise, a power vacuum emerged, setting the stage for Stalin's rise. Stalin, a man of ruthless ambition, was quick to seize the opportunity. His tactics were as brutal as they were effective. He orchestrated purges, eliminating anyone who posed a threat to his reign. High-ranking officers, party members, even intellectuals were not spared. Show trials became a spectacle of fear, a grim reminder of the fate that awaited those who dared to dissent. Stalin's reign was marked by the establishment of a totalitarian regime. Dissent was suppressed, individual freedoms were curtailed, and the state controlled every aspect of life. The Soviet Union became a fortress of fear, its people living under the constant threat of Stalin's iron fist. By the time Stalin's power was firmly consolidated, the toll on human life and freedom was chilling. Stalin had successfully seized control, but at a chilling cost to human life and freedom. Now in power, Stalin embarked on a series of radical economic and political transformations. His rule was characterized by two key policies: forced collectivization and the 5-year plans. Both had profound and lasting impacts on Russia's economy and society. First, let's talk about forced collectivization. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, Stalin sought to consolidate individual land and labor into collective farms. The goal? To increase agricultural productivity and support the rapid industrialization he envisioned. But the reality was far from this ideal. Resistance was met with brutal force, resulting in the displacement and death of millions of peasants. The policy also led to the Great Famine, where millions more starved due to drastically reduced grain production. Next, the 5-year plans. These were ambitious projects aimed at transforming the Soviet Union from a peasant society into an industrial powerhouse. Steel production, construction, and machinery manufacturing were prioritized above all else. And the results were astounding. In a matter of years, the Soviet Union became one of the world's leading industrial nations. However, this rapid industrialization came at a high human cost. Workers were often forced to work in harsh conditions with little regard for their safety or well-being. But the impacts of Stalin's rule weren't limited to economic and social transformations. His reign was also marked by intense political repression, culminating in the Great Purge of the late 1930s. During this period, anyone perceived as a threat to Stalin's power, from high-ranking party members to ordinary citizens, was subject to arrest, exile, or execution. The exact number of victims remains unknown, but estimates range from hundreds of thousands to millions. In sum, Stalin's rule brought about drastic changes in Russia. It transformed a largely agrarian society into an industrial superpower, but at an enormous human cost. The scars of forced collectivization, the 5-year plans, and the Great Purge are still visible in Russian society today. Stalin's rule was marked by both sweeping changes and devastating atrocities. Stalin's death in 1953 brought an end to his reign, but not his influence. His legacy is a complex tapestry woven with threads of both progress and terror. Stalin transformed the Soviet Union from a predominantly agrarian society into a world superpower, an industrial titan that played a pivotal role in defeating Nazi Germany in World War II. But this progress came at a heavy price. Stalin's regime was marked by a climate of fear and repression, with millions perishing in gulags or during the Great Purge. His policies led to widespread famine and hardship, casting a long, dark shadow over his achievements. Even after his death, his influence remained profound. For many, he is a symbol of Russian strength and resilience, while others see him as a brutal dictator. His legacy continues to shape Russia and the world, a testament to the power of his rule. Joseph Stalin, a man whose influence on Russia remains indelible and controversial, continues to be a figure of intense debate and scrutiny.